Hey folks, something came my way a little earlier last week and I wanted to talk about it, but other things happened and I wasn't able to do this video until today. The idea that was shared with me was that we shouldn't be angry with God. So something was said to me and the person said, you know, I shouldn't be angry with God. I feel bad that I'm angry with God. Something happened in my life. I don't like it, and I'm angry, but I know I shouldn't be angry with God. God doesn't like that. Well, I'll tell you straight up. God has bigger shoulders than I do, and God can handle your anger. You should and are allowed to be angry with God. In 1 John chapter 3, verse 1 says, "See what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God." Now, this is just one of my favorite verses about relationship with God. But the Old Testament is chock filled with the stories and with the sentiment of being in an intimate relationship with God, whether that's as a lover or as a leader, as a Lord, as a friend, as a father. Jesus, in his description of God, speaks of God with adoration and with intimacy. At one point, calling him Daddy, when he says Abba. We are called not into this place where all we do is worship. We're not called to be drones. Right? We're not called, the image that pops into my brain is in that movie Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, where Indy's watching what's going on in front of him, and all these people are just simply chanting and going through the process of their religion. That is not what the Christian is supposed to do. That's not the call for a Christian. The Christian is to be in relationship with God. And that relationship will have moments of worship and praise and adoration. It'll have moments where we are telling God how glorious we believe God to be, how glorious we believe God to be acting in our lives. But for it to be an honest relationship, we need to be willing to be angry with God from time to time as well. We need to be willing to express that anger with God from time to time. When I get angry with my partner, we usually quickly come to one of two conclusions. Either I had an unreasonable expectation of their behavior, or my expectations were reasonable and they didn't meet them, and they could have. It's important. Now, I will often say that expectations are incredibly problematic. But what I'm getting at in this particular talk is that because I was willing to articulate that I felt anger, it opened up a pathway of communication that allowed us to explore what was truly behind it. And when we explored what was truly behind it, as I said, either I determined that my expectations were unreasonable, or that my expectations were reasonable and that they could have met those expectations. So we come to a conclusion that we both have an opportunity to grow. The expression of anger offers up that opportunity. It offers up that opportunity to have a conversation, which is often a teaching moment. Now please understand, I'm talking about anger, not rage. Anger is a feeling of disappointment, a feeling of grief, a feeling of hurt. It's a bunch of those emotions sort of mixed together. It doesn't fly off the handle. It doesn't lay waste to the person or to the people who've angered you. Rage does. We're not talking about rage today, we're talking about anger. It's okay for us to be angry with God. As a matter of fact, I believe in order for us to have an honest and authentic relationship with God, where we actually can take our place as children of God, we must be willing to allow ourselves to be angry. Because it's when we're angry that we'll ask those questions. We'll ask those questions of, why didn't you meet my expectations? And when we ask those questions, our ears are open to hear the answers. And it's within those answers that we find our opportunities to grow, to become more. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord's face be made to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord's countenance be lifted up to you. May you always know the peace of being in the Lord's presence. And I pray that when those moments arrive that you're angry with the divine, with the Creator, that you'll allow yourself to be. That you'll be willing to say the words that you need to say. And that your ears and your hearts will be open when the answers come. Amen.